Yo, it's you playing the USA, and we're going to try to make everyone come to the USA, whether it be through migration or slightly more forceful means. So we'll start out by expelling British diplomats and then declaring on Newfoundland, declaring on Newfoundland, enforcing the diplomatic play. And the Britain should add ban slavery against us. What we research here doesn't really matter because we're going to be releasing playing as a country in order to get multiculturalism early. And now Britain adds ban slavery. Sometimes they don't, but vast majority of the time they should. I think it's something like 80%. Back down, get slavery banned. Now declare on Mexico for liberate Pueblo. You want specifically something in the Great Plains strategic region because almost no one has an interest in that region. And then you want to add in as war goals, Mexican war reparations, revoke claim on Texas, primarily those, and then also get a Mexico protectorate war goal. Now, you can mobilize the 7 stack, but do not add conscripts or else the war will be bad. We'll take the 3.5k tech progress. Also, we'll begin improving relations with Indian Territory, because we do want to potentially give them some states, and we need to have non-poor relations in order to do so. Now, due to only having 7 troops mobilized, the Mexicans think they're very confident in this war, and thus are not going to back down, because if they back down, you lose your Mexican protectorate, so you very much do not want that. Now, as soon as the war starts, you want to grab this 2 stack here, go into recruit Lancers, and max recruit as many Lancers as possible. Lancers are very good at pushing, so you want as many as you can. And then you want to naval invade into Veracruz, which is usually just undefended. As you can see, even though it was defended when we started the naval invasion, they just left defending it for some reason. If they are defending it for some reason, though, you can just naval invade Yucatan, which is basically never defended. Mexico is sometimes defended depending on how the Texas war goes, but this one is essentially just never defended, so you should just be... Yucatan is basically completely never defended. And you can see we're already into Mexico City. We don't want to go to Guerrero. Oh yeah, because that already got taken. We just want to keep pushing up this way, because that's going to be the way to get Mexican protectorate. The reason we're protectorating Mexico is once we do our swap onto New England to get multiculturalism, we're going to lose our infamy anyway, so we may as well take advantage of our infamy by doing a big war like Mexico protectorate. Now, you can add everything as a war goal except for liberate Pueblo, because you obviously don't want that, because that would make your protectorate smaller. So now what you need to do is go into your releasables, release Florida, and then start colonizing into Florida as well, and grant them that state. This is going to be a pretty important small piece. We're going to release Michigan as well. And the plan is we need to feed these guys all the country except for the New England 5 states, not including New York. You do want to give that away. So we're just going to be using trade state for the majority of the states, but you can sometimes use grant state, which does make things faster because they don't have to accept, but a lot of times it won't let you do this. It lets you do this on unincorporated states or states which are not your homeland. When states finish colonizing, you should be able to grant state, but in this case we can't. I'm not really sure what makes it so we can't right now, but just know that eventually you will be able to grant states that have finished colonizing. Or is it just that not all of them have finished colonizing? Yeah, only the ones furthest west have finished colonizing yet, so we can't give those away at the moment, but we will be able to very soon. But now that we've cut America off, we're able to grant these states, and that's because on frontier colonization, if you no longer have a land border there, it stops the colony, so we can just grant the states because they're now just normal states. And this is going to make it quite a bit faster. Okay, now I've given away everything except for DC and New England. Now what you want to do is go to Mexico and grant them a bunch of Michigander states until you can reduce their autonomy to a puppet. And then you want to grant all of Mexico to Michigan. Or maybe not all, I'm not actually sure yet. Yeah, we now granted enough so we can puppet Mexico, and then we can grant a bunch of Mexico over to Michigan. Yeah, I think we'll grant the whole country. The only problem is it might lead to Michigan getting a little bit too much Liberty Desire gain. Yeah, let's actually just get them down to however much we need to get their Liberty Desire to 0. Okay, granted enough of Mexico to Michigan that they're now at 0 Liberty Desire, but their weekly Liberty Desire is changing pretty fast. But this is where we come in, release and playing as New England. Now we want to immediately begin damaging relations with the United States of America, put an interest in Dixie, use our research, because we do actually have that, raise taxes, lower government wages. Now, is there anything else that's going to be too useful? What is our government? Why is it taking so long to load? We've got a giant petite bourgeoisie, next highest being intelligentsia. We have no way to make a legitimate government, so I guess we can't do anything in there. Anyway, we're gonna grab one troop here, and then we're just gonna have to wait till we can declare on the US, which should take 1 month tick till we get our relations down and our interest. Why is the game running so slow? Okay, now that you got the USA down to 49 relations, we simply expel their diplomats to get below good so that we're allowed to declare on District of Columbia to conquer the state. Now what we're gonna do is mobilize these battalions and put them on the front with Michigan. By the way, the reason we don't exempt them from service is the USA likes to call them into the war, which gives more Liberty Desire, which we very much hate giving these guys more Liberty Desire, because if America increases autonomy, it's going to be very annoying for us. But yeah, we granted all that to that, and now we want to create a new army, and then put some enlistment efforts in our states, which we might go put away at some point, but during this war, this is going to be pretty essential, and use these for Lancers, which is going to be very important, because these Lancers are going to be used to land into the American capital of District of Columbia. We can already got 5 Lancers, which is going to be great. Since Lancers have a maximum organization of only 25, we're going to be able to land with basically no resistance. And we just need to hold on this front while we land in, and then America should be at total occupation, because that's their only state. And then that should be a pretty easy victory. So yeah, just begin landing District of Columbia. I need to assign a fleet admiral in order to land. Small mistake, but it's not going to save, or it's not going to lose any real time. And we can, I guess, rapid advance, although it doesn't really matter. I guess maybe we shouldn't, because it's just going to... There's 2 fronts, so maybe let's rapid advance. The only downside is it's going to create a small amount of devastation, which I'm not sure. Okay, now this is actually just 1 front. We can just defend, and I think... Wait out, the US hitting minus 100. Do not send a peace deal like this. You will not get the subjects if you send a peace deal, so do not send a peace deal. That would be throwing the run. Now, the Liberal Party wins a massive landslide in the election, meaning that we now do have legitimate governments, because I think before it wasn't giving us legitimacy from election votes. Now, can we pass anything too useful? We can just immediately go for laissez-faire here, so I think we'll go for that. Okay, so unfortunately, America has increased Michigan's autonomy to a protectorate, which is very bad. But as long as Florida stays a puppet, we should be fine. Okay, now America's minus 100 Liberty Desire. Now we need to grant all of Florida and Mexico's remains to Michigan, hopefully reducing their Liberty Desire back down to below 25, so we can reduce autonomy on Michigan. Please work out. Yeah, we easily have enough states here. Reduce autonomy on Michigan, and they're now a puppet. Okay, now we're gonna grant the rest of Mexico's, the rest of Mexico's states are gonna go to Michigan, because we want to form the USA and annex Michigan real quick, or form free states of America, and then form America, and then click this bottom option here, enables law, multiculturalism law, and citizenship. Very good. Gives us some extra stuff like 20% Afro-American loyalists. It gives you some radicals as well, but it's not that bad. It does cost you 40k a week for 5 years though, which is pretty bad, but it's going to be perfectly fine, I'm sure. The Afro-American primary culture is just so nice, you know, you gotta take it. Anyway, we're going to start incorporating all of our states now, which will be great, I'm sure. You gotta get all that incorporation done. Now, the opium wars between Britain and China have unfortunately already started. I'm going to remove the enlistment efforts because they are just a waste of authority, and we'd prefer to have minus enactment time, I assume. I guess we can have 1 decree or consumption tax. We will use tobacco consumption tax as that one thing to run max enactment time. And we'll try to import paper, I guess, because apparently we're running a paper shortage. Now, we'll build some construction sectors as we try to get our economy up and running again. Unfortunately, it looks like we have minus infra in Pennsylvania, which is usually the best state for building up, but I guess we can just build the railway there. We are subsidizing our railways already. Good. Now, there's actually a couple of other things we need to do. Putting interest here. By the way, our name is back to United States of America now. With some interests like La Plata, France, Russia, some decent interests throughout the world. Now, what's this event? I guess we'll take minus interest group approval on the armed forces. Property women. Yeah, no, we're not passing that. Get some plus popularity. We will take it. Mexico reduces requests increase autonomy. We're not going to give it to them. As soon as we can, we're going to start trying to colonize in Montana because we need to cut the Canadians off from colonizing here. If they colonize into Montana, then we cannot complete the Oregon border dispute because it requires owning all of Montana. But I just realized something. If we declare on China before Britain finishes their war with China, we can sway them in because they don't have a truce yet. Does Britain have an interest in North China, or do we need to use South China? We need South China. Okay, let's declare in South China. Assuming Britain actually has an interest in either. Wait, why can we, like, not see... Is this South China's interests? Why is South China here? Okay, whatever. So we need to declare for something. We can take maybe a Suzhou treaty port in South China. And then hopefully we can sway Great Britain in. For something like Eastern Guangdong treaty port, please. Take treaty port. We're skeptical we can support them. Let's say we just add in 1 billion conscripts. Can we then get this play up and going? Because that would be very nice, I think. See, yes, they do indeed want it now. So we'll give them back their war gold that they're getting in their current war. Totally fair and balanced. Take some Chinese war operations. And, you know, while we're at it, we might as well put our interest back in North China and go for Beijing. Okay, I'm going to take Beijing as a war goal. Also, we're going to move our interest into Manchuria, because we want to go for North Jilin and North Heiliangjiang, maybe? Yeah, there's so little infamy, we've got to go for these provinces. The gold, lots of gold spawns in these. 5 gold fields are there already, very nice. Evil Chinese in their closed borders, you know, there's only one way to make the Chinese come to America, and that is for the Americans to come to the Chinese, because they've got closed borders, so therefore we got to conquer their country. Or we can have the Heavenly Kingdom happen, but I don't know how likely that is. Yeah, we got Atmo Engine. We'll take the 3.5k tech progress. That nearly gets us to Water Tube Boiler. After Water Tube, I guess we'll go Pharmaceuticals. This minus balance is a little bit small. Let's build more construction sectors. Unfortunately, China doesn't have the widespread opium addiction modifier anymore, so they actually might be able to keep this British landing. Nah, it looks like it's fine, because they still have huge minus offense from it, so it should be fine. Okay, peace with China achieved. Very nice. You say North Jilin. I assume we need a port here, and I assume we need a port here. Yep. The construction efficiency is not great, I assume. Minus 80%. Yeah, that's really not great. We'll put a violent suppression decree on Beijing, I guess, because we want to get it built ever. Okay, we got laissez-faire. Very nice. It's going to temporarily really spike up our reinvestment, although in the long term it might not be so great. I think we're going to wait for the reaction movement to hit 75% activism so that we can abdicate to it as our next law pass. I guess we should slot in the these guys into government, because we hate these guys' clout more than we hate the other guys' clout, so once this, we want to abdicate to people that we hate, right? Oh, we have a lot of radicals. And they're all Han people, don't worry, it's fine. Anyway, we just need to keep passing, or we need to keep fake passing laws that it wants until we get a law that we can resign to. Migration controls and closed borders, we're not going to resign to these because intelligentsia doesn't care. Anyway, now we get to enable monarchy, except the industrialists are the only people in government. We already passed laissez-faire, so I guess industrialist clout isn't that big of a deal. Getting them marginalized is unfortunate, though. But hey, it's what had to be done in order to pass monarchy, so we can create a sovereign empire trade block. Or not trade block, just a sovereign empire power block. Now, unfortunately, this reaction movement looks unwinnable. How in the world are we going to deal with this? I'm not sure yet, but I'm sure we'll find a way. Can we have a more legitimate government? No. Great. Yeah, this is not good. It's really weird how abdication just gives you a bunch of radicals. It's very, annoying for us. We're gonna start suppressing the reaction movement because we want it to go as low clout as possible. Please stop having support. I'm gonna start passing racial segregation. Maybe this will make the reaction movement calm down. Not really, but oh, okay, yeah, this is so bad. Um, is it just over? What? How do I deal with this? Oh yeah, okay. The activism of the movement isn't at 100, so we're kind of okay. We just need to hope that turmoil in our colonies goes down slowly. Do we have some more people we can put in government now? No, not really. Okay, we just got pharmaceuticals. What tech do we want to go for next? Maybe we go mechanized workshops and then steel frame buildings. We really want to try to go public health insurance, but this reaction movement is really tough because it's taking like almost our entire country. Okay, we're about to be able to start passing Nat supremacy again. It'll be good. Yeah, we can make the movement go away now. But it's still just trending it's just still going in the background, so we can't go for like a law we want, like public health insurance, which is very annoying. We have 4 months left on our plus 40K government expenses, so I think we can start really expanding construction now. Oh yeah, also we should be improving with Texas, because if we get them to 20 relations, we will annex them. We don't have the journal entry, but they do. So they will get annexed to 20 relations. Oh yeah, now that the movement's dead, we can actually have a legitimate government. I mean, well, it'll be nice for that extra loyalist, I guess. Got some company slots. I guess we'll start in the wood company. We really want Carnegie Steel, but so we don't want anything that would like overlap with what Carnegie Steel is gonna have, which is scroll down a little bit more. Steel, coal, iron. So I guess we could do Home Good Corporation as our second company. Or the only question is, will we get a third? Yeah, we'll get a third company slot from joint stock companies, so that seems like a pretty fine thing to go for. Well, we cannot let another tick of national supremacy happen, so yeah. The question is, what do we want to go for next? We need something that the reaction movement likes just as much, so I guess we have to go migration controls and hope that we can pass that for 2 years. How much did we pass? We only got national supremacy for like 11 months. Well, hopefully we can get migration controls passed for longer. I guess we'll use up all of our authority, actually, because I'm realizing more authority means more enactment time minuses, which is actually a bad thing. So let's just quickly use all of our authority up so that we don't have any minus enactment time so that we can pass this a little bit slower. UK has finally removed its guarantee on Orania, so we're going to conquer Gaza to get into this region. We want to try to get these 9 gold fields. There's also, more gold fields potential here and more gold fields potential in Transvaal. We must start incorporating Beijing. Probably should have done this like the second we conquered it, but hey, whatever. What are we going to do about this reaction movement, by the way? It's at 12% support now? Why is it going up? Oh no, someone's in a country to support it. Exile dissident? Oh, this is going to give us more radicals. Armed forces don't have that many people supporting them, I'm sure. It'll be fine. No, you're kidding me. 20% political movement prop attraction forever? That's so bad. What are we gonna do at this reaction movement? We're gonna have to fight it at some point, probably. Hopefully at like 7% support, it'll be small enough that we can fight it. Luckily, Gaza has no troops, so this will be an easy war. We got really lucky that this option was not a success, because, yeah, that would have passed if we did that. Anyways, we will need to find something else to pass for the reaction movement now. Which we can't be national supremacy, so it's just gotta be something that they sort of like let's say ethno-state, which is gonna make them still slowly tick up to 75%. But we want their support to go down in this little bit of time, down hopefully closer to 7, so that the movement's actually defeatable, please. Okay, our government has 0 legitimacy. Okay, I guess we'll do this. Sure. This isn't as bad. This still looks unwinnable, but it's by way less. Does it own Beijing? It does. Yeah, this is so unwinnable, but it's not as unwinnable. Maybe we can maybe we'll be able to sway the UK into the war? I don't know. This looks really bad. Since we had 20 relations with Texas, we annexed them. Very nice. A little bit more stuff on our side of the Civil War, I guess. The Progressive Party won the election, but somehow... Oh, wait, we're not a republic. Okay, yeah. Why are they not the leader of the country? But that makes sense. The ethno-state would pass in a day, so we gotta cancel passing that. Now, we can go Nat supremacy now. Do we want to keep doing this shenanigans forever? Well, I guess we gotta start passing national supremacy again now, because, yeah, that civil war is not good. Guess we'll go for an invasion of Transvaal. Um, we want a little bit less than 266 conscripts, I think, for this. But we definitely want some. Let's say, sure, but no, that's still too many. Yeah, that'll be enough, probably. We'll invite this agitator to start a labor movement, since we already have the one law that labor movements dislike that's good. So having a labor movement just seems like a good thing. It'll lower the support of the reaction movement, stealing support. That'll be great. And it'll also help us maybe we'll abdicate to no, we don't have a ruler that dislikes it. Or maybe there's something the labor movement likes that the rural folk don't, and then we can use that to abdicate. Land-based taxation. We can get a pro-country lobby towards Great Britain here. Don't think we want it, though. I'm going to begin importing large amounts of grain from Qing, because, yeah, not much of a reason not to. It's going to, it lowers our GDP slightly, but it's going to help increase SOL, which is going to be much more important, I think. Hey, you aren't allowed to be in this movement. Sure, you can become the leader of the rural folk. We finished colonizing Montana. Okay, well that means we can colonize more states now, because the reason we needed Montana first is since we released and played as USA, we lost our claim on the state, so it was possible that Hudson Bay Company or whatever can just start colonizing here. Is very annoying if that happens. Anyway, we just unlocked mechanized workshops, so we'll stop at that PM. That should help with SOL a little bit, which maybe will help with the reaction movement. We can also get Bessemer process, which will help out steel production. Everything else here looks pretty good. Iron is actually our most expensive good again, so guess we'll start building iron. Okay, let's stop enacting national supremacy. We don't want to get that law. Oh no. No. Another. Why do we keep getting agitators for the reactionary movement? What? Well, I guess you're gonna have to be imprisoned for 5 years. We don't want 5% political movement activism. That sounds like too much. No, we need a lot of these guys, because, yeah, this many states is just not okay. So, let's start passing racial segregation to get the movement to go away. Korean mass migration. I did not even know that, Korea didn't have closed borders, but that's actually so many migrants. Wow. That's so much people. Wow. That's a lot. Nevada finished colonizing. Oh, we get another mass migration. Mass migrations. They got another one? Wow. Alright, we'll go conquer Orania for their good old gold mines. Well, gold fields, but same thing, basically. They got 9 gold fields, very nice. We almost got all the way pushed out before our troops arrived at the front. Luckily, they arrived just in time. Take a British trade agreement. We really want to get a defensive pact so that we can trigger the reaction movement without dying. Well, time to stop passing migration controls and go back to net supremacy. How long are we gonna have to do this nonsense? Probably should have gone for this before they united, but we will go for a quick little protectorate on Peru-Bolivia. Oh yeah, we need to call someone into this war, otherwise we're gonna have trouble getting onto the front. Yeah, they've got 28 guys defending the HQ. So, we don't really want to give them a conquer. We'll give them humiliate, sure. And then I guess we'll mobilize some conscripts, send them down to Chile. Well, we don't want to pass net supremacy. I assume migration controls was enacted way too recently. Yeah, 14 months, or 10 months ago. So we'll go racial segregation next. The slow pinballing down. I hope the reaction movement is going to start going down to 5% support now soon, because we really need to just be able to start passing health system and something, pass actually useful laws for once. That would be nice. Why is my power block just pure black? What? Okay, well that's fixed now. Got our first mandate. What do we want to go for? I think we go advanced research for our first mandate. Also, we should probably start building unis for that. We don't have any real number of unis right now. So let's build a 20 stack of unis in Beijing. Okay, we can enforce on Peru-Bolivia now. Very nice. Get mandate a little bit faster now. The Heavenly Kingdom is here! Also, we need to construct things. More wood mines. Some could call them logging camps, but they're obviously called wood mines. Anyway. Yeah, I think we want to let the Heavenly Kingdom win this. It would give us some stuff. China, I assume, would give us less, yeah. Well, I guess we'll take an obligation from the Heavenly Kingdom and then help them win the Civil War. There, we're sending over our conscripts to go deal with the Chinese and the Chinese Civil War. I think they've got, like, line infantry, but our power projection is almost as high as the Chinese, so we should be able to win once our 32 stack arrives. Yep, China's getting destroyed by the Heavenly Kingdom. China had to return Beijing against us. Interesting. We've gotta pick some war goals here, maybe. And not war goals, techs. Oh yeah, we want open hearth process next, which is not a tech you normally would research this early, but we want Carnegie Steel, and Carnegie Steel requires open hearth process. Also, we're going to start slowly swapping up to steel frame buildings, which does mean we need to start building some new industries like explosives. Well, China's about to cap, and there we go. The Heavenly Kingdom has taken over China with 161,000 debt. Truly an enormous amount of debt. What's the turmoil of Han people? Just, by chance. Global Han turmoil is 16%. Okay, they're so close then, probably, to having the 15% in China required to start a mass migration to the US. That would be amazing. Are we still importing grain from them? Yes. Okay, good. Because, of course, if you did not know, Heavenly Kingdom has no migration controls, so we can get migration from them. Yeah, we don't want to get minus relations with Russia if we don't have to, right? Take an embassy. Is there anyone else who we can give embassies to? Nope. Or Nicaragua, sure. Heavenly Kingdom is going into debt. Let's go. First mass migration from the Heavenly Kingdom. The Heavenly Kingdom is on medium taxes right now, but they're burning so much money each week, like 140k. So surely they're going to go up on taxes. And then once that happens, we can, you know, get some free mass migrations of Han people and Yue people and Min people. Oh, we got our first East Asian migration. I don't think there's that many Miao people, though. I also just realized we're at 0 infamy. Do we need to go for a war? Like, let's say against you? No, that's too much people who are going to join. Argentina? Chile would join. Okay, we'll do Argentina. Get Chile's in the war. We'll protect them as well. We'll swipe Peru Bolivia in so that we have a front, and then raise the conscripts. Oh, this is unlucky. Right after we are in this war, Chile gets into a native uprising that we probably could have diplo-subjugated them if we hadn't declared this war, but hey, sometimes you get unlucky. Britain's going for investment rights and stuff on Taiping, which is a little bit interesting. I think that we just ignore this war, because I don't think joining it would be of much value of us to joining either side would be of much value to us, right? Well, we just finished enforcing our protectorate war goals against these guys. Now we're just trying to white peace with South Peru. Okay, they accept a white peace. Yeah, we're gonna start mapping the American Western frontier, because we do want to start getting these 3 states from Columbia District if possible. Our guide knows better, sure. Well, that's a small reactionary movement. Let's stop enacting cultural exclusion and let's fight this. Okay, this is actually a reasonable size for once. All the other ones have been, like, the whole country, basically, so I've been like, no, I'm not fighting that. See, this one is much more reasonable. It's not even taking Beijing. Yeah, this is gonna be fine to deal with. Okay, that'll trigger the reactionary movement. Civil War. We wanna build up some stuff to make sure we're actually using our construction. Budget isn't great, but it's fine. What could possibly go wrong, right? Let's go on the front, mobilize some conscripts. This revolt only got 4 million of our GDP, so it's basically nothing. We can even call in the UK if we want. Don't really want to give them any of that stuff. Yeah, we've occupied all of this stuff, but they're still not ticking very fast. We actually need to try to land this to make them tick faster. Well, I guess we're not doing that, because, yeah, they've got 10 guys there and we only have 3 ships. Public health insurance, let's go. Okay, we got the Oregon Trail, nice. Oregon border dispute, what are we missing? We need an interest in the Pacific Coast, because they took all of our Pacific Coast states. Okay, well, we better get the Oregon border dispute completed now, once our interest appears. Our interest should appear soon. Surely our interest will appear soon. Yep, there we go. The Oregon Treaty. Most amicable agreement. Very true. Start incorporating these states. Just got a bunch of mass migrations, but also we need to decide on a new law to pass. Colonial exploitation is a decent option because I think, are done with our colonization here pretty much. Not quite. Oh, we need to manifest destiny in order to colonize here. Hmm. Oh, well, we're out of infamy. So I guess we'll manifest destiny. I kind of wanted to avoid spending this 22 infamy, but I think we kind of have to, because otherwise we're just not going to colonize that. We instantly get the Frontier Wars, which annexes Indian territory. Okay. And yeah, we'll start colonizing. Whoa, that's so many mass migrations. This is the power of typing. This is actually absurd. There's so many immigrants. Oh, this is so. Look at this pop graph. This is the Civil War. You can see the line just start going up at a slightly steeper angle when we get this many mass migrations. Like, what does Taiping's migration map mode look like? Actually, it's not even that good yet. We need them to get a Han migration, really. Have they bankrupted yet? They have not. Once they bankrupt, they should have way more radicals. Britain offers us military assistance. All right. I think that's our biggest pop group yet. Manchus. Is that our biggest? Actually, maybe UA is bigger. Did we even get a UA one? I'm not actually sure. But what I do know is Manchu is a very big mass migration. 200,000 pops a year into Texas. Is this more than yeah, this is more than the normal migration cap. I guess mass migrations bypass the normal migration cap. Yuan Jamin, I think that's a pretty small one, but hey, still more mass migrations is nice. And then I'm gonna slot in the migration 1 principle, because I think the extra migration quota might be nice. Oh, we have another principle. Maybe come you can go plus 50% mass migration attraction. Is anyone else in the world even getting mass migrations at this point? No, so that's probably not that useful. Let's just go advanced research 2 then. Heavenly Kingdom bankrupted. Can we protect with the Heavenly Kingdom? This is so broken. I think this is going to be my earliest China protectorate ever. I'm going to put a greener grass campaign down in Pennsylvania, because I'm thinking we're going to subjugate Qing, and then we're going to, or Heavenly Kingdom, and we're going to hope to get a mass migration, or not a cultural community of Han. Oh, we already have a Han cultural community here. Yes. So the plan is we're going to subjugate them, and then use this Han cultural community to extract all the Heavenly Kingdom's pops to Pennsylvania. Okay, we got colonial exploitation. Very nice. Put some interests in Congo and stuff. Unfortunately, Britain's colonized both of the easy ways, so you might want to try to conquer Zanzibar to get a colonization inroad. Oh, we get Joshua Norton. Yeah, we cannot let him here because he is evil and he supports the reactionary movement. That's why he's evil, but some could say that's self-fulfilling prophecy, but I'd just call it the truth. Anyway, I get the Mexican cession, which is great. Get all these states incorporated. This is nice. Make an offer for Alaska if we want, but we don't really have money right now, so I don't really want to do that. What else do we need to do? Yeah, I guess we're just gonna go for Conquest of Zanzibar, and we're gonna watch Heavenly Kingdom to see when they drop to Unrecognized Regional. The reason they haven't yet, even though it's been over a year, is at the start, I assume they're dropping to Unrecognized Power, but then before that year ticks over, they stop being able to be qualify for that, so then they drop to Unrecognized Regional, but that resets the timer. It's really stupid that that resets the timer, but it is what it is. Okay, Heavenly Kingdom just dropped to Unrecognized Regional. Very nice. We should probably go Protectorate them. So they only need to get like 40 more prestige for them to go up a power rank, so I'm definitely going to be adding a lot of war goals. How much of this, yeah, none of this prestige pretty much is coming from armies, so it's going to be tough to keep them from doing that. So we're going to add as many war goals as we can to get them to back down, please. Please back down right now. Just back down. That would be appreciated if you could just back down. But you're not going to probably. But it would be really nice if you did. So just do it. Here's our big army. Go into the treaty port. Can script up as many lancers as we can, because I think we're probably going to need a lot. Probably going to split off a lot of 1 lancers once we kill off the majority of their army, because if the war is going to take a while, that's going to be the most effective way to ensure a victory. Let's go! Heavenly Kingdom back down! Okay, let's see how Heavenly Kingdom's migration looks next Monday. Okay, didn't change that much, but that's a solid couple million pops a week. Maybe like 2 million pops a week moving over to the US from The Heavenly Kingdom? Nice. I see we do have a small ports issue. Okay, well, let's build some convoys to go ship to China. In the short term, it looks like a China protectorate is not increasing our migration, but long term, once we get lots of infrastructure, it will massively increase the amount of migration we can get. I'm gonna buy Alaska real quick. Seems kind of worth it at this point. I mean, it's not really a great state, but, you know, it's another state for our great empire. Can we peace out with these guys for Zanzibar? Yeah. Okay, let's start colonizing to here and here. I did forget to put in Carnegie Steel Company. A little bit of a mistake. Oops. Prop tax time. It's barely more money, but it's more money, so I want to... You know, I forgot to go past level 2 on the healthcare system. Oops. Let's build some more government administration so that we can go past level 2. What? How are we getting so many migrants? Okay, it's like... For France is just pure red. What is going on? You can actually see it in the French population graph. The mass migration is real. You can actually also see it here when I think this is Occitans. Now we're getting French people. It's a lot of French migrating to our country. Wow. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, only a couple of the railways were subsidized? Okay, bruh. So apparently I didn't have a port here, or it got deleted at some point somehow. What? Government's no longer legitimate, so I guess we'll go to this one now. Prop tax, let's go. We can go colonial offices or food standardization here. I think we'll go colonial offices. I'm building overkill number of railways in Pennsylvania to see if we can get more migrants into Pennsylvania by doing that, because ideally, I want to get as many migrants as possible. Maybe we can beat my old record of 250 million pops in Kazan with like 300 million in Pennsylvania. Looks like that has pretty substantially increased our migration. If we do that, that should be like 5,500 migration cap plus 25%. Are we not even hitting the migration cap? I feel like that should be more than 6.9k. It should be pretty close to that though. Bro, that's so sad. I was looking for cautious literary guys and I see this guy here. He's cautious literary diplomat, but he's an abolitionist and doesn't want to agitate in our country. I guess we'll pass secret police. The trade unions want it, so it's kind of just going to be good for intergroup approval and it's a good law. Wait, we were the first to research. How could we have gotten this? We tech spreaded socialism. What? Interesting. What do we want to get here? Sure, supported or promoted? These are basically the same. We'll take promoted, I guess. And we should have Karl Marx appear in our country. Yep, Karl Marx here. Oh, he makes us not like secret police anymore. Well, too bad. The evil Russians claim my states? How dare they? I'm rivaling them. I'm gonna try not greener grassing Pennsylvania. I think it might be a bad idea. Let's see how our migration changes after we stop greener grassing it next week. Looks like, yeah, Pennsylvania I think is still at the cap, so I don't think it really is helping much to evident. We'll take regulatory bodies, I guess. It definitely is something we can try to upgrade. Sure. Okay, we got secret police. I guess we'll level that up. Somehow the Heavenly Kingdom is losing to this Mongolian uprising. Bruh. Okay, well, we're gonna go send over some troops to try to deal with this, I guess. Ottomans actually subjugating Morocco? Unbelievable. Wait, Ottomans completed Tanzimat AI? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. This is a scam. Put all of our sewing machines on this PM. Oops. Yeah, that's gonna be good to actually have luxury clothes in our market, I guess. Yeah, it'll be nice. So we've just swapped up rubber PMs, so that we should be having rubber be very profitable, because we have very little rubber resources at the moment, given that we have such a small fraction of Africa. I'm running a positive balance. What is this scam? Time to build more construction. Everyone knows positive balances are for noobs. The political strength in that mode is certainly something. All of our companies are located in Pennsylvania, so it's just one giant thing. Oh, we got our new leader, Emperor Franklin Winkler. Yeah, he can't be allowed to live because he is imposing, so therefore he is dead. Yeah, you're gonna get exiled because you're lame, and we're gonna find someone who we want to make king of our country real quick. So we have no heir, which means we can't abdicate. So instead, what we're gonna do is go for this character here, and we're gonna try to make them the leader of the petite bourgeoisie. We need to suppress the royalist movement because this is the party or the thing they're pressured by right now the least, and then we're going to try to take that over with the liberal movement, which they pressured 11% now. This is going to go up over time quite a lot. Okay, we can now grant leadership to that guy, and then start passing Parliamentary Republic. 50% success chance. Reaction movement is trending towards 90 activism, but they've got a character which is increasing that. If we just put that guy in jail, that should drop down. Yep, only 74 now. It's going to be good. Realist movement is trending towards 84, but as long as it's trending towards under 90, we should be fine. Of course, trending low because we got our minus 20 from Secret Police. I'm going to go down a tax level so that we can... Oh wait, now we're we're one legitimacy away. Now we're good to just run this tax level and be passing at a decent speed. No, we're not anymore. What is going on? Why are we going back and forth in legitimacy? I don't know. Getting 20,000 migrants a week into Pennsylvania, pretty nice. Oh, now it's 24,000. You know, it just takes a couple hundred railways and you get a couple thousand migrants a week. It's the greatest plan in the history of plans. You can really see on this one's pop graph when they started migrating to the US, their population got cut in like half. Okay, we passed Parliamentary Republic. Nice. Now, we don't want a social bandit as our ruler. That's for sure. I guess we'll do this. We want Karl Marx as our ruler, I guess. He's literary, which isn't as good as cautious, but it's a trait. And once we get our grant leadership cooldown in 31 months, we can get something better. Unless we have a cautious guy here, but I don't think we do, right? Yeah, none of these guys are cautious. Oh yeah, now that I guess, or we kind of need legitimacy because Karl Marx is... Nah, let's just... Wait, how many radicals per month are we getting? Is it 20,000 or 200,000? Yeah, 20,000. Let's just bump taxes up. Maybe we can even do maxes. Plus 3 minimum expectation is going to be 11.3. It's going to be a little rough. I think we got to go for it though. Want to build maximum construction. Why are the evil Chinese not migrating to my country? How dare they? What if I put a greener grass campaign on the stake? Will they migrate enough to my great Pennsylvania if I do that, maybe? It's got so much mass migration. It's got so much migration attraction. Come on, Heavenly Kingdom. You know all your pops want to move to my country. Oh, I'm out of infamy, but that's just a small detail. Yeah, okay, now we're getting some migration, but it looks like it's actually not coming much from China, is it? I don't think so, actually. Uh-oh. We're gonna steal pops from our other states to bring to Pennsylvania? I guess so. Dang. I guess we'll go for a Persian protectorate here. You know, that seems like a war goal that we can probably pretty easily get. I don't know. What else? Like, we want to try to take some stuff from Great Britain, but I want to get a cautious ruler first, and we need to wait for our grant leadership cooldown for that. So far, I'm really surprised by how few immigrants we're getting from the Heavenly Kingdom after getting them as a subject. I wonder if it'd be better to grant them their own market. For a second, I thought it might be because they're on serfdom, but no, Heavenly Kingdom's on homesteading. Why are they not migrating? Landing Persia is really hard because they've conscripted up a lot, so yeah, I'm not really succeeding in that. They're even bankrupt. Yeah, I don't know how we weren't able to land them, but I think we're going to be trying to transfer India. Some would say if you can't land Persia, you shouldn't try to transfer India, and they would be logical, but not correct. Well, we don't really have any good options for getting a cautious guy, so I guess we'll have to pick this guy. Does the labor movement pressure the industrialists? Yes, it does. Okay. Let's put the industrialists into government here. Grant leadership, and then up to this government. Very nice. Get our good old leader here who's cautious. I'm going to declare on Britain for ban slavery in the Raj. We're also going to be, you know, transferring the Raj, transferring Canada, transferring, oh, I don't know, British East Africa, you know, just some normal war goals, really. What could possibly go wrong, right? Okay, well, I've made two big conscript armies here. And we've got this army here as well, which we're going to try to use to naval invade, I guess, British East Africa. You know, we do need to take over this little territory here in order to enforce transfer British East Africa. So it's going to be pretty expansive, but what could possibly go wrong? Except for everything. Everything is going to go wrong, but, like, nothing's going to go wrong, you know? Okay, the war has begun. Let's grab our stack here. Alright, let's use you to naval invade Indian Ocean territory real quick, and then we'll go for naval invasion on Arakan or whatever into the British Raj. They've got 3 defenders here, but we should have an easy victory here. Our great skirmish infantry with like 40x the numbers will win against them. 171 v 18, truly fairly balanced battle, you know, this is how battles were meant to be fought. Yep. We don't actually have full occupation of the state yet, dang. Going for Arakan now that we've got Indian Ocean territory. We've got this big reactionary movement, and the problem is if you click this option, we're gonna become a civil war, so we have to click this option, but now it's still gonna make us become a civil war soon. So we need to pass anything they like. Let's pass migration controls, I guess. And that should make the civil war go away. But that 10% activism gain is not good, but it's what we had to do. We use these 5 troops to try to defend against this landing, or not landing, but thing over here until our 350 stack arrives. Okay, we're landing in Arakan. We got 4 rapid advance generals. I assume even if they make it to the front, we can probably just rapid advance through them because we've got 223 battalions, and they don't have 223 battalions here. Yeah, looks like we're just kind of winning. Yeah, we got this. We're in West Bengal now. Now go defensive and split you into defending here. And let's split you into defending there. And I guess we'll create one more to split to defend there. Bruh, now we're gonna get Ontario occupied from us by the west here. That's annoying. Let's just mobilize like this 4 stack and stuff. We need like everything we can get to try to defend this because it's like barely any troops that are occupying this. It's like 20k manpower, bro. You should not be occupying this with 20k manpower. Come on. Well, now we lose all of our occupation on Ontario. Perfectly balanced game. Now we have to wait 30 days to get back to the front. Yay. Okay, well, East Bengal just got occupied, which makes this a little bit weird. We need to split like this to defend, please. This is so stupid that these fronts aren't just one. Okay, I think we should be reoccupying Ontario. Now it's just a matter of time to enforce on the British. We have pretty much stopped constructing because construction costs too much money. So apparently we're getting enforced on. Yeah, time to go naval invade Buenos Aires because I don't like losing. Okay, we unoccupied the capital. Now we can get all of our demands, except for ban slavery in British Raj, I guess. No, okay, I guess we gotta take Britain down more. Dang. Bruh, please, just stop being in stupid places, armies. You need to actually defend. There's no way we lose Ontario again before we can send this peace deal, bro. Bruh, that would be so annoying. Okay, we occupy 100% of it, so surely we arrive in time. Come on, come on, come on. Please don't take New York. Bruh, the front just got spaghettied again. This is so annoying. But Britain is willing to accept peace. Okay. Okay, there we go. War's over. Well, now we're out of that war, we can start constructing again, which will make our economy go boom to the moon. 307 million GDP. Very nice. Hopefully it'll go up even higher after the Monday tick. See, what do we go up to? 318. Very nice jump. Now we really want to get India onto no migration controls. Luckily, it looks like that's actually not going to be very hard. Why do they have plus 10% from being a colony? Alright, yeah, we'll just start telling them to pass that, please. Because we want to steal all the Indian pops into Pennsylvania. So we'll go commercialized agriculture. I don't really have anything super important to pass right now, so that's something, right? You know what? I'm actually gonna go human rights because I think I really much undervalue old age pension. So we're gonna try going old age pension and see if that can get us enough. You know, it'll help increase our prices. I think because you get plus 100% dependence income, which I think I might undervalue quite a lot. My reasoning for thinking that is my highest GDP achieved, other than with Turtle Island, was in my last Russia game where I went old age pension, and I felt like my GDP kind of skyrocketed after that, even though I was paying like ridiculous amounts for welfare. Okay, we get the last monarchist. It reduces the number of intergroups that support the monarchy. Unfortunately, it doesn't make the petite bourgeoisie stop supporting the monarchy, or fortunately. Average annual wage in Carnegie Steel is 125. That's not great for us. We definitely don't like having to pay. We don't like having to get less investment pool due to these stupid wages. We got to decide on a new tech to research. I guess we'll go pneumatic tools now that we got human rights. After we get commercialized agriculture, we'll probably try to go for old age pension. Well, this is not good. The reactionary movement is going to start a civil war soon, so I guess we gotta pass something they like again. What do you... Why do you not want to pass this? Oh, we're passing a law already. Huh. That's a problem. Who cares about commercialized agriculture? What we do care about, though, is that we're lacking the ability to pass other things, but we gotta dodge this rev somehow. Might have to lower taxes to dodge this rev, because, yeah, long term... Okay, yeah. We're getting kind of big problems. We need to lower taxes. It's unfortunate, but I think we gotta. The whole SOL map mode is red because of you darn countries here, Surakarta and Yogyakarta. 54 is just such an insanely high SOL. How much are these pops getting paid in here? 0. Truly great wages. Oh, there's slaves here. Well, if we look at the port, this is where all the great wages are. I really have no clue what causes this. I haven't been able to replicate this. Wow, 89,000 wages on 7,000 pops? What's that? Average annual wage of 2.7 thousand ducats? I wish I knew what causes this so I could, like, find some way to abuse this. Like, you create a country that intentionally does this to have huge demand for your industries. But we got no migration controls, which is nice. Let's see. Are we getting major migrations out of this country? Not that much, but hey, there's a couple tens of, like, 10,000 maybe pops migrating out. Or actually, Punjab and stuff. Maybe like 20,000 pops migrating out of the country into our stuff. Wait, into Britain? How dare you try to migrate into Britain? Unacceptable. Anyway, I think they're still not migrating as much as we'd like due to not being allowed to migrate for peasants. So might need to get off of tenant farmers onto homesteading or something. A pretty big stall chance, but it's decent success chance. We'll go for it. Only downside of building tall in Pennsylvania is we have 100% pollution impact. I went to go check my previous highest pop state video, and we actually have more weekly migration and a similar number of pops to what that run had at this time. So that's a good sign that maybe we can beat the record that I had before of 250 million, maybe 300 million. You know, apparently to get to the next step of New Colossus, we need 3 arts academies at 90% employment. So let's do that real quick. I'm gonna decide what company to go for. I think we'll just take the 5% birth rate company. You know, we gotta get all the pops in the world. There are 3 universities done. We get... Okay, so it just triggers open arms, because I guess we already have the requirements for the other event. And that's gonna give us 25% migration attraction. Interesting that you can also get 100 prestige, but of course, take the 25% migration attraction. That'll mean that our migration attraction will be even more polarized. Wait, did that just increase our number of migrants? I wonder if that's unrelated or not. I assume it's probably related, but I'm not actually sure. How many migrants are we getting? 7.5 thousand from West Bengal. Nice. How close is homesteading to passing? Pretty close. Britain is bugged and can't actually colonize through here because their thing is just sit on this side and they won't ever go back to this side. Not like they're colonizing very fast where they are, though, because they have severe malaria, which means they have not researched malaria prevention yet, which is kind of embarrassing. It's 1885 AI. Come on. Wait, Britain's offering us a state trade. They want Congo in exchange for British Gabon. This is the average AI state trading offer. Actually, in theory, I think they will better colonize, because they have market access there, don't they? I think they should have market access. Yeah, they do, because this is one single state here, but they, I guess, lost the natives because they couldn't move their troops over here. That's why they can't colonize, but we're about to cut them off from being able to connect anyway, except they're still going to be connected through here, but we can just ignore that fact. India's on homesteading. I wonder what their migration map mode looks like now. It looks like quite a lot of people are moving India now. I'm doing a quick little conquest of Chitral because I want to test if granting Heavenly Kingdom to India will increase migration, because right now nobody's leaving the Heavenly Kingdom for some reason. I'm not sure what's causing this, but I'm hoping that maybe giving it to India will mean that they'll leave. We're all down to kind of 22 million radicals. Is that enough that we can be fine? Only plus 58 from turmoil. We should be fine, right? Let's just go old age pension, the trade unions. What's the reactionary movement trending towards? Yeah, 54 is completely fine. Get the trade unions and government, even the literary trade unions. Nice. And we'll begin passing old age pension. Okay, so we're gonna start granting the Heavenly Kingdom to, granting India to the Heavenly Kingdom, because I think it's gonna be pretty much, we gotta grant India to the Heavenly Kingdoms so that we can then grant Heavenly Kingdom to India after we reduce autonomy. And hopefully this will mean we can actually get migration, because we just weren't getting any. I have no clue what's making us not get it, but I think this has the potential to maybe solve it. I don't know what the problem is though, so I can't be sure about that. Unfortunately, that's going to unincorporate some Indian states, but hey, it is what it is. Now I'll grant this all back to India. Okay, I've granted part of China to India, so let's wait till the next Monday tick and let's see if this affects how migration is going. Okay, well, we're starting to get some migration out of Shaanxi and stuff, so it looks like it's working. Quite nice that having the kingdom's capital is Guizhou. It's going to mean we're going to be able to get the vast majority of the pops, because Guizhou is not exactly a particularly populated state in China. Okay, there's all of all of China to India. So now if we wait till the next Monday tick, I assume that all these states will start having at least some migration. Not all of them, but a couple. I assume this is because we're at like the migration cap into Pennsylvania? Yes, 75,000. 75,000? What? Wait, actually, how are we getting so many? What mass migration do we have right now? Like, we should not, we should be capped at like 37.5K. North German from Prussia. How many North Germans are we getting? What? That's a lot of North Germans. I can see why India isn't red. Well, it looks like we're failing old age pension, unfortunately. Well, the Great Saxon migration seems to have mostly stopped. Now it's only a little bit a year, but we have some great Jonxians and stuff to move into Pennsylvania instead. Still getting a solid 63,000 a year or week. Let's level up the railway. Let's say, let's get it to level 400 at least. That seems pretty fair to me. 216 more levels. I just realized something. The Yaman farmers have the regular USA traits, which I think is kind of surprising considering we formed USA. I wonder how that works. Is it like, does New England have the Yaman farmers as well, or is it something to do with forming it that did that? I don't know. Well, we invested in a bunch more railways, but we're not getting enough people coming to our state. How dare they not come to our state? They're gonna have to be murdered for not coming to my state. I'm gonna try to unemploy the pops in a state of China and see if that leads to migration. I don't think it will, but I don't know. So we'll give it a go. Maybe the pops will work in the rice farms. I don't know. I just hope that they'll migrate over to Pennsylvania, but I doubt it. Why did I get so much infamy? I feel like I didn't press any. I feel like I didn't do anything recently that gave me infamy. Why do I have 74? What? Looking back at the footage, but like 2 years ago, we somehow jumped up like 30 infamy for no reason. I'm so confused. How did that happen? I don't know. I guess we'll take the one that gives it on less states, because yeah, we don't want to overlap. We don't want to steal so many pops from Pennsylvania. How's the Southern Hui pop stealing going? Oh, we're getting a lot of pops stolen from Southern Hui. Maybe this is working, but it's also killing a bunch of pops. But like, who cares, right? We gotta steal their pops somehow. 34,000 pops from yes, yes, yes. All the pops must come to Pennsylvania. I'm a little bit confused what caused this, but now none of the pops want to leave to Pennsylvania. Now they just all want to die. I don't like this very much. That's not very nice. Oh, now they are coming to Pennsylvania. I'm so confused. It's just nonsense. Like the game is trying to tell me that I should really be doing this challenge in Beijing. It's given all the good cultural communities to Beijing. Manchu, Han, Persian, Bundeli, Marathi, Bengali, Dakani, Telugu, Lunda, Yue. Does this even have a river bonus? No, it doesn't. If it had a river bonus, then I'd be so convinced. I mean, it's still like, it's got 25 million pops. We should really just do it in Beijing, probably. Okay, we're gonna try to pass, welfare again. We're gonna do wage subsidies into old age pension to get the chance a little bit higher and to get some movements supporting us. Now, the armed forces, or the industrialists are angry. Let's just do a coalition government of everyone in the world, which is going to have zero legitimacy, but it'll make the stall chance a little bit lower, and it'll make us pass the law faster. It'll give us radicals. Probably a lot. Yeah, 800,000 a month. I'm so confused why it varies so much by the day how much migration is going out. Like, right now it's 27K. How much? Now it's 3K. What's going on? Why is it varying by like 10x every day? We'll go Freedom Movement 3, right? And then we'll also go Vassal 2. Maybe that'll help with pops moving here. I don't know. I don't think so, but maybe. It's gonna give the state more migration attraction because we've got an arts academy and a university here. 43,000 migrants? 73,000? What? Okay, that's a lot. Seems like just having a ridiculous number of migration modifiers is enough to Let us have migration. 250 migration attraction is so much. Yeah, when I looked at the wiki, it says that it's based on the difference in migration attraction. So I guess higher migration attractions are actually better, even if they're all like equal to each other. I think that, and it also said that pops can only migrate if 5% of them are migrating at the same time. So I guess we just need to have a high enough migration attraction that most pop groups will hit that. I'm building up power plants because when we turn on electric engines, that'll be a big thing that we need power plants for. Actually, we're gonna go diesel pump. What am I thinking? We're about to get compression ignition in like 4 months. All right, that'll maybe juice up our migration even more. All right, we're about to unlock compression ignition, and then we're gonna go macroeconomics for the mappy. We really should have done this in a mappy state, but who cares about logic when you have fun, right? So let's swap these up to diesel trains. Let's see if that increases the number of migrants we get on the next Monday tick. I feel like that Monday tick might have been included in that swap up, but let's just another Monday tick to hopefully, you know, we can just hope that this number will be higher, right? 100k migrants, that would be nice. Let's see, the Monday tick's taking a little bit. 80k, okay, it's an improvement, not by much though. We have an oil shortage, oops. Let's start running oil PMs with the better one. Yeah, let's start running combustion engine derricks and max expand all oil. We've gotten our first number over 100k. I'm gonna turn on diesel engines here. This is gonna make the price of engines in the okay. Wow, that's very low engine prices. Let's tone down automobile production as well. Automobiles are now cheap as well. Nice. Okay, we got old age pension. Great law. Now we can have a real government that actually has legitimacy, which is gonna be great because that's gonna mean 400,000 loyalists a month. Very good. I guess I'll turn on compression ignition pumps in the coal mines and iron mines here. I'm not sure if we could do it in the rest of the country or not. We can maybe leave these exclusive in this state just to, you know, encourage more migration. Wait, what? How do I own Carnatic? Did I accidentally use the take state interaction? Is that how I have infamy? Bruh. That must have been it. The Chinese have uprisen from the Bengali rule. How dare they? That's not loud. Yeah, I'm supposed to occupy you, so where's my conscripts? I don't know. Where are they? Here's an army with a lot of conscripts. Alrighty. Get high general count, wait for conscripts to mobilize, and go on to the front. Deal with this evil Chinese uprising. We got a mass migration from the Chinese uprising? Bruh, no shot. And lots of migrants coming into our country from the Chinese uprising. Of course, this is exactly what we needed. But yeah, we gotta crush these evil uprisers. Where's their capital at? Hunan? This is an amazing Ceylon uprising. Yep, definitely a Ceylon uprising. I agree with that a lot. Yep. Why in the world is Ceylon uprising? Why is this the capital? It has like no GDP compared to the other states. Okay. Well, let's see how this goes. I've done the math and we're at the migration cap for Pennsylvania, so that means we need more railways. Let's build another 200 railways. The French have made their greatest mistake ever. Wait, no, it's a Breton mass migration. I thought this was a French mass migration. No, wait, was it French? Yes, French people into Pennsylvania. Okay, that's a lot of French people that are gonna have to move to Pennsylvania. It's actually not that bad, but I mean, like losing like 5% of your pop a year is pretty bad. Wait, Belgium owns the French Low Counties? No way. We're getting 128k weekly immigrants into Pennsylvania, or now we're not. But by the way, the wiki lies and claims you can only get 500 plus 5 times infrastructure people leaving a state per week, which is just clearly not true. Like, that would mean that the state should only be losing like 1,000, but it was losing 5,000. Or this state should be only losing 1,000, it's losing 20,000. It's unbelievable how profitable tools are. Like, they're minus 27% price and we're just still making them. As maybe like just start exporting tools to like everyone on the planet so that we can get mass migrations from them as well. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. And with that, that should be every single state or every single country we have an interest in common with, which is almost everyone because we have interests in most of the world. We have a trade route with them now, so hopefully they'll start mass migrating to me. Okay, we'll take Standard Oil as our next company. You know, I'd love to privatize these 700 railways here so that we can get some extra, what's it called? It's in California. No, I should have tried to manipulate it so that it spawns in Pennsylvania. Actually, it's probably just not possible. Hmm. Oh, we definitely could have spawned it in Pennsylvania. Couldn't we have? Oh, no, these are all government owned, and they're not going to privatize because we own all of the levels. And I think you can't privatize if all the levels are already built. Not getting quite as many migration. You're not getting quite as much migration as I'd like, so we're gonna spam a couple of. We're getting a lot of our we were getting some of our migration from Southern Equeast, so we're gonna try spamming some livestock ranches throughout China, and hopefully this is gonna lead to more migration. India having this modifier is really nice. Minus 20% agricultural employee mortality. It means they're gonna get huge unemployment if they can keep that up. Maybe we really want to keep the Zamindars happy to try and keep that bonus going. That seems like a really important thing to go for. Let's invite South Peru to the power block, I guess. So that's a lot of migration. Did we just get our livestock ranches going? Yeah, we did. It's working great. I see. Not quite as, or yeah, 72K is still a ton. No, that's not the right state. Pennsylvania, 200K a week. Let's go. Okay, that's what we like to see here. I've got basically no radicals, so we're gonna go up on taxes. We're gonna put some consumption taxes on some stuff. And the hope is that we're gonna be able to use this money to build a lot of railways. Because, once we get all this stuff in, I think the problem that we were having before as to why we weren't getting pops migrating in is you need a minimum of 5% of a pop group to be able to migrate at once, I think. And we didn't have enough slots in our country, in our migration cap, for that to be able to happen. But if we have, like, 50,000 infrastructure or whatever, hopefully that won't be a problem. We get a flood in Pennsylvania. Hopefully that'll go away. The Ceylon Uprising actually won, and now no way. The Ceylon Uprising actually won, and now Scandinavia is conquering into the British Isles. I was hoping for a little bit more migration than this, but maybe we just need to double down and build more livestock ranches. That's what I'm guessing. Let's just build more. What could possibly go wrong? I see nothing that could possibly go wrong here. And Scanny now owns parts of England. That's crazy. I don't know me. I guess we'll go conquer Newfoundland from Ceylon, right? Gotta go steal from the weak. And the Ceylon does seem like the weak right now, considering they're bankrupt and stuff. They're not exactly the strongest of countries. Guess we'll take their other holdings in the Americas. So Bermuda, Bahamas, and Guyana. Hey, that's a lot of migration. 233K? That's actually almost... Wait, is that actually our infra cap? No, we're nowhere near infra cap, but that's still a lot of migration. This is the culture map mode of America right now. It's very diverse. You got Canada people here, you got Rajputs, Mexicans, South Germans. So, like, if you ignore Yankee and Dixie, basically every state is different. We got the two UA states up here, Bengali, another UA state, I guess, Min, Mexican, Manchu, Marathi, Laukenstream, Bantu, French. There's a lot of cultures here. Religion. It's a lot of Protestant. We got Confucian in Pennsylvania, of course, in Nebraska. Very interesting map mode so far. Let's see how it evolves as we progress. Oh, Ceylon just backed down and gave us Newfoundland. Maybe let's go for Cuba from Spain next. 27 infamy. Sure, let's ask for Cuba. Okay, they refuse demands. We'll conquer Haiti as well then. Haiti. The evil Russians think they can join my wars? Unacceptable. Yeah, we're liberating Kazakhstan from you, Russia. Unacceptable. You're not allowed to join wars, unfortunately, Russia. You know what we have for you? A 1070 stack. Yes, actually, we're moving a 1070 stack to fight Russia. Well, we're falling behind in GDP, but it's all worth it to get the highest population ever in Pennsylvania, Wait, what? 350,000? What is going on? How many people are coming from Chunks? 110,000 a week? Oh no, my migration is gone. Oh, but we're still getting 320K a week. Okay, this is a lot. We've got huge convoy issues. Actually, is that a good thing? If that's what's causing the huge amounts of migration? I wonder. I don't know. Probably not. Let's just try to build some forts, probably. I'm gonna tell India to go local police force, mostly just because I want to try to get them to have the landers be happy again so they can stop running. Yeah, now they'll minus 20% mortality, which means their pop growth will be positive. I hate the British flu. It's so mean. The British should stop having the flu. Yeah, we got antibiotics, so we can go up to level 5 on the health system for the extra minus 15 pollution effects reduction and minus 5 mortality. We're not even getting infinite migration anymore. We must solve this by building more livestock ranches. This is truly the greatest of gameplay. Just spam livestock ranches in China until they migrate all their populations to your country. Well, our total population is now above the 2024 US population, but we gotta get above the 2024 US population in Pennsylvania. That would be sick, except it's probably not happening. But maybe we can get like a little bit over 250 million, right? 13 million a year is quite good. In order to avoid actually passing migration controls, we do need to find something else that the trade unions like now, because we want to keep solidarity going. We don't want to damage the industrialists either. State atheism, sure. Afro-American becomes obsessed with opium. Yeah. Based. Afro-Americans are now... Wait, what? No. Who did it actually... It made Yankees actually obsessed with opium. Dang. Okay, so I lowered taxes, just, to see what would happen, and we're getting 450,000 immigrants a week. I don't know if these things are correlated or not. Probably not, but it's interesting. No, their war goal is occupied. They're occupying my thing. No. Let's unoccupy Argentina now. Oh, that means Russia's out of the war. Nice. Okay. I don't know why my anti-Russian lobby is so mad at me for fighting Russia. Oh, apparently I just ignored a lobby demand from them. I didn't see it. Another interesting thing is this minus migration attraction isn't being modified by the healthcare system's minus 85% reduction. After a very long war, I think we finally have enough strength to land Cuba. It's insane how strong the Cuban defense is. It's such a hard island to land. Okay, proposed peace deal. And Cuba. We actually didn't take Puerto Rico. No, Cuba has Puerto Rico. Never mind. Yeah, we've kicked Spain out of North America. Very nice. Okay, we're getting Hartal strikes in Pennsylvania now. Insane. The Indians are striking. How dare they? I just think they might be striking in the wrong country, maybe. Indian uprising. How dare the Indians think they have the right to uprise against my rule? That's clearly against all provisions of the American Constitution to uprise against me. So, yeah, you're going to be crushed by 860 conscripts as soon as one of them mobilizes. Unfortunate for you. It's just... I don't know why the Indian uprising has half of China. Not even half. Like, we're in default. Oh, we're not in default. Yeah, we need to stay out of default, please. Please don't put me in default. That would be great. I'm gonna raise taxes because we want to make some money to get out of default, please. Bro, UK supporting the Indian uprising? Unacceptable. For some reason, the capital of the Dominion of India is Nanjing. I have no clue why. And also, we're running a big negative balance, which is not great. Okay, we have lots of shortages. Hardwood we're shortaging. That's interesting. Let's try to fix that, I guess. Just need to turn up hardwood production, and then that should stop running a shortage. Yeah, the Civil War isn't going great, but I think we're winning it. It's just a matter of time. Oh, is that Nanjing occupied? Not quite, but they're gonna be occupying it soon. Well, we have a lot more war support than India, so we should be fine. Gotta go up another tax level. We need the money. Also, we're trying to hold construction and we're gonna construct continuously, or else our credit limit is gonna go down too much and we're gonna start defaulting. So we're in a little bit of a precarious situation, but it is what it is. India is losing war support fairly quickly. Britain should be getting out of the war pretty soon. Britain's out of the war. We started defaulting for a tick, but then we undefaulted somehow. That's good, I guess, that we were able to get out of default. Gonna try to keep stuff in our construction queue so that doesn't happen again. Okay, the Indian uprising is finally over. It should mean good things for our GDP, hopefully. Because our economy is finally back to normal. That was a tough war, but it's finally over. 410 million pops in America. I think we're probably gonna try and get to the modern day US population. It's gonna be pretty good. I don't know how much we have in the US borders right now, but that's like the goal. And the US borders have the US population. Pennsylvania is gonna be like half of it though. Oh, actually getting like 10 million a month or 10 million a week from 10 million a year from Pennsylvania. That's pretty good. I'm feeling like old age pension isn't as good as I thought after this run, although maybe we just don't have enough workforce ratio. We could go women's suffrage, but then we lose birth rate, and we gotta get as many pops as possible. So that would be, like, maybe go compulsory primary school. Sure, let's get it. Try and lower that mortality modifier we're getting. That'll also make the trade unions real happy. Okay, we got compulsory primary school. Should slightly help with pop growth. Looks like it's not helping that much. I think we had 1.55 pretty much before, so it's not that much of an increase, but it is an increase. The Hartal strikes are about to be over in Pennsylvania. We'll see if that increases or decreases our GDP. I'm actually not sure which way it will go, because this is gonna massively increase throughput, which decreases prices, but increases supply. So I don't know which way it'll go. Yep, the throughput penalty is over, and now it's a Monday tick. What? What do you mean the GDP went to 500 million and then 50 million? Everything must be like hyper unprofitable now. Oh, I think it's like there's probably some buildings that are profitable, but I think these buildings are generating like negative GDP. We're back up to 200 million GDP now. It's gonna slowly recover in GDP. Well, I think this is going to be ending off the run. We hit 351 million population in the core 49 American states. We don't actually own Hawaii. You can see I've manually selected them all. Wait, San Salvador is not a core American state. I guess we conquered it since we did this. Yeah, if we do that, these are the core American states here, I believe. And we got 351 million in them. 470 million overall. 180 million just in Pennsylvania. We can take a quick look at the culture map mode. You can see it's very diverse. Religious map mode, we got a lot of Hindu. We got a couple places still being Protestant and some Catholic in the south. Is there anything else you wanted to look at? Look at the SOL map mode. China is of course very low SOL. We've been trying to take people away from them for a while, but it's not really working as well as I would have hoped. So we're only getting like 100K a week into Pennsylvania. Like, it's not doing quite as well as the Russia run, which is unfortunate, but hey, not much we can do about that. Guess we can quickly look at some graphs. This is the population graph. You can see it looks pretty exponential. GDP graph does not look quite as good, although, I mean, it looks kind of okay since the India war around here. We've kind of been going up pretty well since then at 1.6 billion, but we probably could have gone up quite a bit more GDP if we had enacted women's suffrage or something. 1.6 billion is quite low. Yeah, I think that's where we're ending off the video. Goodbye.